So where does your relationship with him stand today? You can't believe what you read. What do you want the world to know about your relationship with him?
We've been working on our friendship again, and now we're very, very close friends. We built a trust again, and that's it. Like, we love each other, and we probably always will. And that's not anything that we're going to try to change. It's not something you could shut off if you've ever been in love.
Are you seeing each other again?
No. He's in a relationship of his own. Mm-hmm. I'm single, but we have maintained a very close friendship ever since the restraining order has been dropped. We've just worked on it little by little. And it has not been easy. It's not easy. Mm-hmm. But...
there were rumors that you saw him in Saint-Tropez. Did you?
Yes, I did. Mm-hmm. We went to a mutual friends party on a yacht. And...
What happens when you see him?
It's awkward. It's awkward because I still love him,
Does your heart do this? Does your heart do that whoosh thing?
My stomach drops.
Yeah.
Yes, and I have to maintain this poker face and, not let it get to the outer part of me. I have to maintain that and suppress it, but interpret it and understand that that's not going to go away. It's peaceful. When you don't understand those feelings, you can make a lot of mistakes.
Do you think Chris Brown is a true love for you?
Absolutely. I think he was the love of my life. He was the first love. And I see that he loved me the same way. We were very young and very spontaneous. Like, we ran free. We ran wild. We were falling in love and going at a really rapid pace that we forgot about ourselves as individuals. We forgot about our personal discipline. We needed something to completely shut that off and show us what we were missing, what we were taking for granted. And if we really care about each other, we care about each other's happiness. So it's not even about us being together. I truly love him. So the main thing for me is that he is at peace. I'm not at peace if he's a little unhappy or he's still lonely or, I care. Like, I'm, it actually matters that he finds that peace.
Earlier that day.
It is hard to imagine a more glamorous star, and she is breaking her silence for the first time since we saw that picture of her so bruised and battered last February. Tomorrow, she will describe in detail what happened in the car with Chris Brown and why a few weeks after she decided to go back to him. It was a mistake, she says, and sent the wrong message to so many young girls enduring the same thing.
Hey, mister, please, Mr. DJ.
So successful, so powerful, so bold. Once a little girl from the tiny island of Barbados, she had dreamed her way into one of the biggest careers in music. Starting at age 16, Rihanna would have more #1 songs than any other artist in this decade. A multi-million-dollar bank account, endorsement deals, a fashion star. And then one night, her equally famous boyfriend, Chris Brown, beat her so badly, the whole world was shocked to discover there was a secret life. Rihanna says she was ashamed, unwilling to speak until now. To those of us who thought, how could it happen to someone so strong?
I am strong. This happened to me. I didn't cause this. I didn't do it. This happened to me, and it can happen to anybody. There are a lot of women who've experienced what I did, but not in the public. So it made it really difficult. I just felt like, oh my God, here goes my little bit of privacy, just exposed. Like, it's something that nobody wants anybody to know. So here I am, the whole world knowing.
Why be ashamed?
Because I didn't want people to think that that's the kind of person I fell in love with that person. That's embarrassing. That's embarrassing that that's the type of person that I fell in love with. So far in love, so unconditional that I went back.
On average, I think it
That's
takes a
not right.
woman 7 times before she leaves.
8 or 9, actually. And I don't want that to happen. That's not what I want to teach people. But again, people, I'm a human being, and people put me on a very unrealistic pedestal, and all these expectations. I'm not perfect. Also, it's pretty natural for that to be the first reaction. It's completely normal to go back. You start lying to yourself. The minute the physical wounds go away, you want this thing to go away. This is a memory you don't want to have ever again.
Tomorrow she will tell us what happened that left her so bloodied, bruised, battered, and why she went back, and what other girls she hopes will hear.
When I realized that my selfish decision for love could result into some young girl getting killed, I could not be easy with that part. I couldn't be held responsible for telling them, go back. Chris, even if Chris never hit me again, who's to say that their boyfriend won't? Who's to say that they won't kill these girls? And these are young girls, and I just didn't realize how much of an impact I had on these girls' lives until that happened. Until that happened, it was a wake-up call. It was a wake-up call for me, big time. Especially when I took myself out of the situation. And I'll say that to any young girl who's going through domestic violence. Don't react off of love. F love. To come out of the situation and look at it third person and for what it really is, and then make your decision, because love is so blind.
And we will have more tomorrow as she talks about the reality of her life, the life we could not have imagined. An exclusive interview, and of course the full interview will be tomorrow night on ABC's 2020 at 10 o'clock, 9 Central. And weigh in on Rihanna, if you will, and this whole issue on abc.com.
That you felt ashamed. You know, she is a strong woman, and it's so true how people go back time and time and time again.
And she's going to explain more of that and what you're thinking and saying to yourself, and also the moment that she realized fully what she was doing.
10 years later.
Breaking developments involving American rapper A$AP Rocky. This morning, he was officially charged with assault in Sweden, where he's been held in custody for 3 weeks now. Gio Benitez has the latest.
What's your problem? I swear we gon' have drama if you touch my tailored garments.
This morning, Swedish prosecutors making the decision to charge rapper A$AP Rocky and 2 others of assault. In a statement, prosecutors saying, despite claims of self-defense and provocation, the 3 men will remain in jail until the trial. A$AP arrested while in the country to perform in a music festival. The 30-year-old New York native, along with 2 of his backup performers, were taken into custody days after this street fight obtained by TMZ. The platinum artist has maintained he acted in self-defense, posting this video moments before the melee, where you can hear Rocky repeatedly tell the 2 young men to back off.
We don't want no problems with these boys. They keep following us.
There's been a huge campaign of support and a petition on social media led by celebrities including Justin Bieber, Kim Kardashian, and Kanye West, who personally lobbied President Trump to intervene. The president announced his support this past weekend.
I have been called by so many people asking me to help A$AP Rocky.
The president saying he spoke to the Swedish prime minister, offering to vouch for Rocky's bail. But the Swedish government claiming they're unable to help, saying, quote, the government cannot and will not attempt to influence the legal proceedings. According to Swedish court records obtained by ABC News, the two men involved in the street fight with Rocky and his crew have criminal records and are not in custody. Prosecutors now revealing they will come face to face with Rocky when they testify at trial.
And the Swedish prosecutor tells ABC News a 3-day trial will take place next week, starting Tuesday. They say new evidence from a mobile phone will be played in court. Rocky is being held in jail because prosecutors believe he is a flight risk. But you know what? He could face up to 2 years in prison.
The justice system moves fast.
Yeah, absolutely.
A lot of people watching that. Thank you.
Ring, ring, ring. What's up, Riri?
What's up, Rocky?
How you?
I'm good. How you doing?
I got
Oh, shit. Michael, get that. Sorry. Michael, get that.
Food that you would never eat under any circumstance.
chitlins.
I just went to say it. An intestine of any animal. Like, that's just like, come on. That's no bueno. Like, I went to say celery, and then I was like, nah, I could get through that if my life depended on it. Animals. I don't know.
I'm with you.
Unless it's good for your skin.
Jailed rapper A$AP Rocky appearing in court in Sweden for the first time this morning. He's on trial for assault after that street fight caught on camera. James Longman has the very latest. Good morning, James.
Good morning, Cecilia. Celebrities, activists, fans, even the president have taken up A$AP Rocky's cause. Well, now, after nearly a month in jail, his trial in Sweden is finally underway.
Got anything to say about the Swedish legal system?
Cameras catching hip-hop artist A$AP Rocky's mother and lawyer, who arrived in court for day one of his 4-day trial. The 30-year-old, whose real name is Rakim Myers, was arrested along with 2 of his backup performers on suspicion of assault while in Sweden to perform in a music festival, days after this June 30 street fight. Video obtained by TMZ. The musician saying he acted in self-defense, posting this video on Instagram, allegedly showing the moments leading up to that altercation.
We don't want to fight y'all. We're not trying to go to jail. I put A$AP on my tab. I put New York on the map.
The Grammy-nominated American rapper and fashion trendsetter with multiple platinum hits has been awaiting trial in Sweden for nearly 4 weeks, while celebrities have rallied to his defense, including Justin Bieber, Kim Kardashian West, and husband Kanye, who personally lobbied the president to intervene.
I have been called by so many people asking me to help A$AP Rocky.
President Trump even speaking to the Swedish Prime Minister by phone on Thursday, chastising the country for its treatment of Americans. Tweeting, I watched the tapes of A$AP Rocky and he was being followed and harassed by troublemakers. Treat Americans fairly. But the Swedish government saying in a statement the government is not allowed and will not attempt to influence the legal proceedings. A verdict is expected on Friday. Now, these kinds of charges carry a maximum 2-year prison sentence in Sweden. It's also understood that the man who was allegedly assaulted is asking for $15,000 in compensation. Michael?
All right, thank you.
They have to.
Congratulations, Rihanna, for Fenty.
What's the hardest part about working with me?
I think the hardest part about working with you is not goofing off and laughing the whole time. Like, this is comedy. That's the hardest part, you know? We such people, we so cool, it's just hard not to laugh, that's all.
What's your last purchase under $20? Condoms.
American rapper A$AP Rocky has returned to the United States after spending a month in a Swedish jail on charges of assault.
Rakim Myers are no longer going to be remanded in custody.
Those were the moments a Swedish judge told Rocky he was free to go home. His trial concluded yesterday with his release from jail, while the court deliberates a verdict that's expected on August 14th. His mother overjoyed by the news as she left court. Rocky made his return to Los Angeles on a private plane late last night.
We had two goals. One goal was that my client was going to be a free man today, and that have we achieved. And then we're hoping for an acquittal in 14 days.
They talking down on my name. Don't let them run off with the name.
The 30-year-old Grammy-nominated performer, whose real name is Rakeem Mayers, has been in custody since early July, accused of beating up a 19-year-old man alongside two members of his entourage. The charges stem from this brawl that broke out on the streets of Stockholm on June 30th, seen here in footage obtained by TMZ. Photos of the alleged victim's injuries shown as evidence to the court. Rocky argued he and his friends only acted in self-defense.
Listen. We don't want to fight y'all. We're not trying to go to jail.
And pleaded not guilty to the charges.
Just for the cameras, we don't want no problems with these boys. They keep following us.
The case sparked outrage in the hip-hop community and in Hollywood, even capturing the attention of President Donald Trump himself.
ASAP Rocky is a situation in Sweden.
The president phoning Sweden's prime minister to call for Rocky's release and personally vouch for the rapper. Following the judge's ruling, Trump posted on Twitter, "It was a rocky week. Get home ASAP, ASAP." In a bid to rescue the rap star, the U.S. government apparently warned Sweden of potentially negative consequences in relations between the two countries if the case wasn't quickly resolved. CNN sharing the leaked diplomatic letter, which was addressed to Swedish authorities before the trial concluded. And one more thing, Trump sent this man, his special presidential envoy for hostage affairs, to Sweden for the trial. It was an unusual task for a diplomat who's typically used to help free hostages from war-torn countries. Here's what he had to say after Rocky's release.
It's one of the top priorities of the Trump administration is to bring Americans who are held abroad, whether hostage or in this case, the president felt that they were that they shouldn't have been detained given that they were stalked and given the circumstance of the case. And so he's very pleased that they're home.
5 years later.
You worried about your family if you do wind up going to prison?
ASAP Rocky's fate will soon be in the hands of a jury.
Rihanna, do you think ASAP's going to be found innocent?
Rihanna arrived this morning at 11:21 a.m., 2 hours after today's closing arguments got underway. Not exactly a dream Valentine's Day for the couple. Riri arrived just moments after this drama happened inside the courtroom.
Lower your voice and don't yell at me. I told you before. I'll listen to what you say. Speak in a normal tone of voice.
The judge scolding attorneys who squabbled with each other.
One more thing out of him, and we air everything that's happened in this case. You should be, Joe.
Rihanna's man is facing 2 felony counts of assault with a semi-automatic firearm, which comes with a potential 24-year prison sentence.
ASAP Rocky really rolled the dice in this case, and now he's looking at potentially many years in state prison. He was offered a 6-month deal, and because of the crowding in LA County jails, he would have already been out by now.
Rihanna's star power has impacted the trial from day one.
Rihanna is going all out to help ASAP Rocky.
Potential jurors were asked if they listened to her music. Today was Rihanna's 6th appearance at court, and yesterday she brought in reinforcements.
Are you worried at all about the possible verdict?
Her 2 children with ASAP.
It is unusual to see young children in court, but it's part and parcel of the defense strategy to get sympathy for Rocky.
The defendant, and certainly his significant other, are powerful individuals within the entertainment industry. And they certainly have enough power to cancel small players if that's what they want to do.
Another Rihanna connection? This music video for ASAP's song DMB features Riri. The rapper claims he took a fake gun from the set of the video months earlier to use for his personal security. The defense team's entire defense relies on this, arguing the victim was not shot with a real gun, but a prop gun.
Prop gun doesn't shoot bullets.
ASAP, are you worried about the possibility of going to jail? Are you hoping this wraps up today?
Watch out for the child, dude. You in the middle, dude. You back to the baby, bro. Back to the baby, man.
Man, watch the baby. Hey, Rihanna. Love the fashion, Rihanna.
Is there another baby on the way, Rihanna?
I love your style.
Thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much.
You see me heavy work. You see me do me dirt. There's something about that work. When you walk a line. I'm in the cafe, drive me a deserting. No time to have you lurking. You make a like, now you don't like it. You know I dealt with you the nicest. Nobody touched me in the righteous. Nobody text me in a crisis. I believed all of your dreams are duration. You took my heart, all my keys, and my patience. You took my heart, I must leave a decoration. You mistaken my love, I brought for you for foundation. All that I wanted from you was to give me something that I never had, something that you never seen, something that you never been. But why you gotta act like nothing's wrong? Just get ready for work. You see me heavy work. You see me do me dirt. There's something about that work. When you walk out.
Hey, what's going on, guys? So, while I'm making this commentary, you may hear a few brief pauses as I am sipping tea, English style. Yeah, I got this chamomile tea, different flavors. My favorite is the tension tamer because I deal with so much fucking mental and emotional stress just from day-to-day life. It really helps, and it beats the hell out of popping pills, if you know what I mean. I also have honey vanilla chamomile. I have some shy tea, but that's by Twinnings, different company. I have sleepy time tea. I don't take that a lot because I usually don't have a lot of problems going to sleep, at least not recently. I have true blueberry and then regular chamomile herbal tea. So, yeah, about, say, 3 months ago, I became an avid tea drinker on a daily basis. I also started back drinking coffee on a regular basis. So, yeah, I'm gonna sit back and enjoy the rest of this. But I don't have any crumpets to go with it. Anyway, all jokes aside, in all seriousness. So, as I've been telling you guys for the last several videos, I am back to producing content exclusively for patreon.com. I have several big time pay-per-view posts out that include videos. In this case, what is available is the video pertaining to the latest Sky Jackson controversy. For those of you who are not familiar with this little bimbo, she is a former Disney child star that has gotten herself into a whole heap of trouble, being accused in recent times since she's become a legal adult, even though up until recently she still looks like a little kid. She's been accused of everything from running online scams to make up for the money that she no longer has under the Disney contract because she's broke, to getting pregnant by an Ohio pookie with a long felony criminal record and multiple baby mamas. I tell you, man, it's like David Carroll says, you can't make this shit up. But yeah, if you want to see that video and how it relates... I'm sorry, guys, I got people ringing my fucking phone with texts. Hold on. Leave me alone. Anyway. Yeah, if you want to see that video, make sure you click the link, which is down in the description box and or the pinned post. I may have also made a community post about it as well. The Sky Jackson dilemma and how it relates to single black motherhood and the uncivilization and the devolution of Black America. Check it out. Now in this video, we're going to be talking about a very, very relevant topic. Okay? I mean, the similarities are very, very close. We're talking about a well-known celebrity female that's wealthy, famous, and pregnant by a Pookie Savage who is now facing serious criminal charges. And she finds herself intertwined and intertangled in this legal debacle with the father of her child that could be facing decades behind bars for shooting another Pookie. Now, as we know, this is typical of your average day, everyday run-of-the-mill black female. And I believe that David Carroll said on multiple occasions, you know, when these black femicunts would come back in the day, you know, talking about black men who preached the MGTOW or Marlboro Man theology, or were highly critical, even to the point of being vulgar, like myself, about, you know, the modern day black female, or just females in general, that quote unquote, you're just mad because you can't get a black woman, or you're just mad because some black female rejected you. Listen, dude, back in my heyday, I screwed black bitches that again, you know, I've only been with a handful of females sexually, but I've been in the bed with females that were new hires at a job that I worked, that I literally met them on the day that they started work, and 3 or 4 days later I was in their bed. I screwed a bitch that I met on a fucking public bus. I screwed a bitch that later became my fiance that I met on YouTube. It's not hard. It's just like David Carroll said, you can get one of these hoes when you can't get something to eat. I've had bitches recently, white and black, that have expressed interest in me, and I'm just, you know, delivering them packages and shit. Okay? It's not hard. A lot of these thirsty hoes, a lot of them are in, you know, messed up relationships with boyfriends, or in situationships. You know, they're always hungry and thirsty for attention. You know, if something's not working out with the dude that they with, they always looking for what I call a black up man, or aka a backup man. It's always some excuse as to why you can run through one or multiple of these hoes. You don't really even have to have game. It's not that hard. Okay? How hard, and since we're on that topic, I know y'all know who I'm talking about because you see the title in the video and you saw the intro. Ask yourself this, riddle me this. How hard was it for ASAP Rocky to pull Rihanna? It was about, I'll tell you how hard it was. It was about as hard as it was for that criminal ass thug nigga to pull Nicki Minaj, you know, her felon boyfriend, if they're still together. And Cardi B, who the fuck is she with? Future, or was that Ciara? I forget. I get these fucking Hollywood hood rat hoes mixed up, but it's not hard, even at the highest level. Okay? Even at the highest level, black dudes and white dudes can hit most of these bitches anytime they want. It doesn't matter if she's the CEO of a major Fortune 500 company. It doesn't matter if she's a fucking billionaire, you know, music artist and businesswoman like Rihanna. Rihanna is, besides Taylor Swift, one of the wealthiest, quote unquote, self-made single women in the world. She's certainly one of the wealthiest single black women and single black mothers in the world that was self-made and wasn't born into wealth, is what I'm saying. I just looked it up before I decided to do this video. This bitch is worth $1.4 billion. Okay? $1.5 billion. I mean, it ain't Donald Trump or Jeff Bezos money, but I think most of us would be pretty fucking happy with damn near $1.5 billion. I know I would. That means you could spend $1 million a day. Let me see, is that right? Hold up, y'all. Okay, that's stretching. But you could spend $1 million a year, is what I should have said. You can spend $1 million every 6 months and never run out of fucking money, bro. That is fucking crazy. And yet, this woman, instead of going out and getting just a regular black guy that, you know, and of course I'm not expecting her to go out and, you know, date just some random Joe Schmo. Of course she's going to date somebody in the industry. But why not date somebody with some class? You know what I'm saying? Like, one of those, you know, like an Anthony Mackie or something. Somebody that does not exhibit that ghetto mindset, that thug mentality, okay? That winds up with them being in and out of legal proceedings in the court system every other week. Now she's facing a prospect. I mean, not that it's gonna hurt her too much, except that it's probably gonna hurt her feelings if he gets sent away. She's facing the prospect of being another single mother. And keep in mind, these two niggas, as rich as she is, and, you know, he's nowhere near on her wealth level, but in his own right, you know, he has money and he has enough status. But in the midst of all of that, she's facing a prospect of being a single mother, this unmarried, okay, and has a boyfriend that's facing a gun charge for shooting a member of his own fucking rap group. And instead of taking a plea deal and doing a few months in jail, he decides he wants to go to trial and argue, well, I had a prop gun. It's not even a real gun. And that he was firing warning shots, you know, against ASAP Relly, one of the other idiot pookies in this ASAP rap group. And that he should be acquitted, or the charges should be dropped, because he claims the gun isn't real. Even though Relly claims that he got grazed on his knuckle from a gunshot, and that you know, he was scared for his life. He heard the gun go off, and he recovered 2 shell casings and gave them to police while he was beefing with Rocky, ironically, over you know, Relly trying to get with Rihanna when her and Rocky first got together, and over the fact that Relly wasn't showing the level he wasn't showing the level of respect to the group after another one of their Pookie members died. ASAP Yams or some bullshit. He died from a drug overdose a few years back. So they were beefing about that too. And it's always some stupid, petty shit, usually over a female. These niggas never get their minds out the hood. And I told y'all years ago that Rihanna was island trash. Okay? Just like hood trash, just like ghetto trash, she's island trash. Her mind has never left the slums of Barbados or wherever the fuck she's from. These bitches can be the richest in the world. They can be the most famous in the world. They're still going to be ghetto gaggers at heart and in mind. Okay? That's why they say you can take the rat out of the hood, but you can't. You can take the rat out of the hood, but you can't take the hood out of the rat, bruh. These weave rats are never ever going to change. How, you know, and it's kind of crazy because, you know, what's her face? That bitch Eve, that hood rat bitch Eve, she gets a lot of blowback for, you know, quote unquote, turning on her race and forgetting where she came from for marrying that Daffy Doof square white boy that she's with. Okay. And I have been one of those people to call out her hypocrisy. But at the same time, you know, you kind of got to appreciate that she, you know, did what she could to leave the life. You know, she certainly played her role of, you know, ghetto rat when it was convenient and beneficial for her to do so. But as soon as she got the chance to leave those Rough Riders, that's what she did. Now, it is important to note that Miss Eve didn't take it upon herself to get with no regular black man. Oh no, she wasn't gonna do that. If she's gonna get with a square dude to leave that life, it's gonna be a white or a non-black man. Okay? And we know that Rihanna tried that. It didn't work out with the Arab or whoever she was fucking around with. So she went back to her roots. In the ghetto. Now she's with this fucking idiot. And keep in mind, if your memory goes back that far, this is not the first time that ASAP Rocky has been in trouble with the law. 5 years ago in 2019, he almost got sent away to prison for 2 years for getting into a street fight with some, what looked to be like some little Arab or Persian punks in Sweden. I think Stockholm. There was video footage of it, and I showed that in the intro. It looked like the two dudes were harassing him and his crew are trying to set them up. I don't know if he knew who they were, but longer story short, Rocky and other members of the ASAP crew, they whooped these two little, whatever the fuck, little Middle Eastern dudes' asses. And, you know, then later they pressed charges and he's sitting in jail for weeks. You know, Trump and all these celebrities trying to get him out. But my question is this. Okay, because they said these dudes that attacked him, they had criminal records themselves in Sweden. My question is this. Do they go around harassing and bothering every black person that they see? Or did they just do this because, you know, Rocky and them, you know, look like that type or may have said or done something to try to provoke that response, you know, for them to go over and try to coerce confrontation? Or did they only did ASAP Rocky's people only turn the camera on after, you know, whatever happened to escalate things to the point where it got physical or threatening? I don't know. But somehow I get a sense that even though these two, you know, little sand jerkers were, you know, they looked like they were trying to start stuff or whatever, okay, I seriously doubt that they go around just messing with every black person that they see in Sweden. Something drew their attention. If they're the Arab version of thuggery, okay, something drew their attention to these niggas walking down the streets of Stockholm. Something happened before those cameras were cut on. The question is what? ASAP Rocky may have not done anything. But then again, knowing how niggas are, maybe they did. Maybe they were going around, you know, acting like they were tough. Who knows? Okay? My thing is, at all times, keep your hands to yourself and stay out of my personal space. I don't care what you think. Okay, if I'm not messing with you, don't fuck with me. But if I'm going around looking for trouble, okay, or if you're going around looking for trouble, then that's a green light, you know, to handle the business, right? So, you know, and then you flash forward 5 years later, and now he has this case on him that could sentence him to prison for up to 24 years. And knowing what he has at stake, he risks going to trial. He's already admitted that he had a gun, okay? Prop gun or not, I don't know, maybe ASAP Rocky doesn't understand this, but prop gun or not, you cannot physically threaten someone with a gun or even brandish a gun where there's an intent, unless it's a water gun, something that's obviously not a gun. Even if it looks like a gun, in a lot of cases, in a lot of states, that can still be considered aggravated assault, okay? If your intent was to scare someone or rob someone or kidnap someone or harm someone, it doesn't really matter if it was a real gun or not, okay? Now, is ASAP really lying about the whole situation because, you know, he just has beef with Rocky? That's very likely too, but this is my question, you know, because I don't really care that much to delve into what causes drama. You know, niggas will find any and every excuse to act a fucking fool. This has been true about these, you know, thug and you know, hood rat celebrity idiots for decades, going all the way back to the, you know, East Coast versus West Coast drama that got Tupac and Biggie Smalls killed. This is my question. Why is Rihanna banking her future if her idea of getting with Rocky and getting pregnant by him and having a child with him, okay, if her idea was to get married to this nigga, which now that I think about it, probably the reason why they haven't tied the knot is because unlike a lot of these dumbass niggas that, you know, are wealthy, like Idris Elba, they're wealthy and famous, Rihanna, the choice not to get married is probably Rihanna's choice, because she ain't trying to lose half her shit in alimony. So she probably just gonna keep that nigga a boyfriend. I ain't even heard of them getting engaged, right? Now these bitches, they want you to tie your money and your life's work to them. They ain't gonna do that shit for your ass though. I take that back. They probably not gonna get married, but nonetheless, if she's trying to build a family without getting married, which you can do, you can have what's called a Commonwealth husband with a thug ass dude like Lauren London tried to do with what's his name, the dude that got killed outside his store in LA in 2019. Why is she doing it with a Negro that not only has a thug mentality, but he has a thug crew? He has a thug history, okay? This is where he comes from. He comes from the streets of Harlem. He has that mindset. He has a single mother. He's ghetto. Why do it with this dude? And it's because of the reason that David Carroll said so many years ago. He said it best. He said, these bitches are what they attract. And they get with what they are. If Rihanna, in spite of all her wealth and all her fame, if she was a classy young lady, she would have done what America's most famous little on-screen bed wench, Olivia Pope, aka Kerry Washington, did, and just got her a regular black dude in Nnamdi Asomugha. She would have just got a regular black dude from the industry. Yes, they have, most of them are Hollywood actors, not rappers. You know, like I said, like Anthony Mackie, Idris Elba. There's some other really big, you know, Jonathan Majors. I know he's tied up in all that abuse claim bullshit, but you know, they have regular black guys that, you know, don't sport that thug image in the entertainment industry. Why not just get with one of those guys? Because just like these no-name bitches that be on Instagram trying to act like they're rich and famous, like Rihanna, but are obviously not, it gives her a thrill to be with a guy that, you know, is a little threatening. He's a little aggressive. He's kind of dumb. You know, he takes risks. You know, he's prone to violence. They get a thrill out of this, which explains why so many of them wind up getting killed and beat up and cheated on by these dudes that they are getting with. They don't want a dude that they consider boring. They said, many of them have said it themselves. There was a photo that came out recently that went viral of this bitch on, I think, Facebook, talking about to get with her, you gotta have bodies. This basic ass weave head bitch talking about a dude gotta have dead bodies in his trunk, figuratively speaking, meaning he gotta be a violent thug nigga to even get her number or get her attention. Okay? And that's not, you know, that's not just a saying. These bitches, there was a cop, I think in Detroit, this light-skinned broad that looked like Corinne Gaines. She got in some trouble a few years back for making this video skit showing, you know, what she does when she pulls over thug niggas and how she be flirting with them and shit during traffic stops. She wasn't playing. It was a skit for attention, but she wasn't playing, bro. These hoes, they get a thrill. Even a lot of these cops and jailers, these female cops and jailers, are fucking some of the very dudes that they be locking up or incarcerating and guarding. Okay? You got multiple cases of bitches that work in prisons getting impregnated by inmates. You got multiple cases of female police officers, you know, involved with felons, especially down south. I don't know what it is about Atlanta and those cities in Alabama, but them hoes know they love. Them hoes in law enforcement down there know they love them some thug ass niggas. I don't know. But, you know, that's kind of like the Italian mob and, you know, hitmen that worked for the NYPD that, you know, carried out murders for them back in the day. You know, when motherfuckers are cut from the same loincloth, you know, you got one motherfucker from Hell's Kitchen or Little Italy that becomes a cop and another one joins the mob. I mean, they have the same fucking mentality. They just wear a different suit. That's why it's so easy, like during the Rampart scandal, you know, and all the crooked cops that were working for Suge Knight and Death Row Records or working for Blood's gang members. You know, when you have motherfuckers that are cut from the same loincloth, okay, you're going to get, in a lot of cases, the same fucking result. Some of them mean well, but it's easy for the ones that, you know, were kind of on the fringes mentally to get sucked back into that life, if they ever left it to begin with. And this is what you have with this Rihanna chick. You know, she dated a couple of white guys. She dated the wealthy Arab dude, but in the end, who did she wind up with? She wound up with Pookie, because Pookie comes from her roots, even all the way back during the days of Barbados. Same with Nicki Minaj, Cardi B, and all of those whores. So anyway, I was just trying to make the point that when, you know, for those of you who still don't get it or pretend like you don't get it, okay, dealing with these hoes is a risky proposition, okay? These modern day females, especially the black ones, but a lot of the non-black ones too, because they have this defeatist attitude and mindset, okay? They're not going to play a traditional role in a relationship. They are very selfish, okay? And a lot of them have self-destructive and self-sabotaging traits that are not only going to lead to their downfall and their demise, but anybody else that is around them in their immediate surroundings, including whoever they're hooked up with. And if you're dumb enough to get with one of these hoes, I don't care if it's Sharkeisha that works at, flipping burgers at McDonald's, or Boom Quikwa, doing the Insta Thought or OnlyFans thing, or Rihanna. You're gonna get the same exact fucking result. Thanks so much for listening. Talk to you later, guys.
The Los Angeles Superior Court, County of Los Angeles. People of the State of California versus Joaquin Mayers. Case number BA 508142-01. We, the jury in the above entitled action, find the defendant, Joaquin Mayers, not guilty of the
Not get the audience. Or you cannot get the audience.
Hold it down, hold it down. Verdict has to be read on count. Yes, repeat again. We, the jury, the above entitled action, find the defendant, Joaquin Mayers, not guilty of the semi-automatic firearm in violation of Penal Code Section 245, subsection B. A felony is charging count one of the information this 18th day of February 2025, jury seat number 9, 4%. All right, title of court and cause. We, the jury, in the above entitled action, find the defendant, Joaquin Mayers, not guilty of the crime of assault with a firearm in violation of Penal Code Section 245, subsection B. A felony is charging count 2 of the information this 18th day of February 2025, juror seat number 9, 4%.
During this trial, I watched you periodically. You did what we asked of you at the very beginning, which is to give both sides a fair trial, pay attention, use your common sense, apply the law, and base your verdict on the evidence. I know you took extensive notes, and you took this as seriously as any jury could. We cannot have jury trials without folks like you. So you certainly have my gratitude. I want to extend to you my best wishes. Again, thank you.
As many of you know by now, there has been a rather dramatic update in the ASAP Rocky trial. As of today, February the 20th, he has been acquitted on all charges stemming from the aggravated assault with a deadly weapon that he was on trial for the past month or so, against alleged victim and former bandmate ASAP Relly. So in the courtroom, right after, just seconds after the charges were read, ASAP Rocky jumped up from where he was standing and ran over and dove on top of Rihanna. The guards, the court bailiffs, did not try to hinder him from doing this. And I guess, what could they really do? I guess they could have restored order in the court, but they chose not to because he was a free man at that point. However, his acquittal does not negate my original argument with regards to how celebrity females like Rihanna only serve to symbolize the problem with the modern day female and how she constantly self-sabotages herself by getting with these dysfunctional and dangerous and degenerate men. Because, well, for two reasons. Number one, an interesting article came out within hours of the acquittal. And apparently some investigative reporters got a hold of one of the 12 jurors that acquitted ASAP Rocky. And they basically admitted that they pretty much pulled a O.J. Simpson trial, when they agreed on the acquittal. The juror secretly said, before it was made public, that they did believe that ASAP Rocky had committed a crime. They did believe that he fired a real gun and lightly wounded Relly with it. But the only reason that they acquitted him was because the prosecution did not provide sufficient enough evidence, including the gun itself, to prove their case. So basically, it was a situation of, if this was just a regular nigger on the streets of New York, we would send his ass to prison. But because he has this, top of the line legal defense, and he's a celebrity, and most importantly, he's the boyfriend of Rihanna, we're going to pretend like there's not enough hard evidence to send his ass to the clink. And keep in mind, as I mentioned before, this boy was facing up to a quarter of a century behind bars. So they basically, they let him off easy because, they didn't want to ruin Rihanna's life, any more than it was already ruined when Chris Brown beat her fucking ass a decade and a half ago, as you may recall. But the fact that the juror admitted that they basically let this boy off, even though they believed that he committed a crime, that brings to mind this other issue in Black America with regards to this thug love mentality that a lot of these females have. When these guys get in trouble with the law, or they get into some type of drama with another nigger or somebody else, these females are so ready and willing to stand behind this motherfucker. The same bitches that will verbally and otherwise dog a regular, hardworking brother for not being man enough, for not making enough money, or, he's not interesting enough, he's an educated lame, yada, yada, yada. They are willing to put everything on the line. Rihanna is making a hellified gamble. Now, the woman is rich enough, okay? Money is not an issue for her. She's a fucking billionaire, $1.5 billion. But she is giving the impression, at least to the outside world that she's ready after, years of a fast life. I think she came on the scene in like 2006, 2007. After years of a fast life and, basically being a superstar entertainer, she's ready to settle down and have a family. She chooses this dysfunctional New York thug, Harlem thug, as not only the father of her child, and from what I hear, she's pregnant again by this nigga, but basically her de facto husband, because they're not married. And as I had mentioned also, Rihanna's smart enough not to get married. Only you dumb niggas, only men that have wealth at that level are dumb enough to marry these hoes. Okay? You haven't heard a single thing about Rihanna marrying this nigga. Ain't no way. She may suck that nigga's dick every single fucking night, but there ain't no way he's about to get alimony and take half her shit. That's just not gonna happen. See that game, that trick, that scam known as marriage? That's for you dumb motherfuckers. Oprah too. She's another filthy rich black bitch. Martha Stewart, all them hoes. Ain't none of them ever been married a single fucking time. Because they smarter than y'all when it come to that. But nonetheless, I digress. So Rihanna's willing to put everything on the line, stand behind this dude that she's not even married to, but then had one and soon to have 2 kids. She gambled in this case, okay? The boy was troubled from years ago when he almost went to prison in fucking Sweden, as I also mentioned, okay? Now he's been acquitted. But see, the question at this point is, okay, the gamble worked in court. The jury basically felt bad for her. She knew that showing up in court would affect the ruling, okay? But now, is this gamble going to work in the sense of, will ASAP Rocky wise up because he basically got let off the hook, as the juror mentioned? Or is this going to embolden him to go back into ignorant ass nigga shit to the point where he either winds up doing something to get himself put in jail, put in prison, or get killed, or even worse, okay, put himself in a situation where he could jeopardize the safety and health of his baby mother and his children, Rihanna? Because when these niggas get to beefing, and it's not like this hasn't happened in, the rap industry before, fists start flying, bullets start flying, and, we've seen controversial celebrities meet their untimely demise in this way before. Rihanna's not fucking bulletproof. I don't care how much of a fucking superstar she is. Okay? She's no more dead proof than Paul Walker was when he was at the height of his prime, when he died in that fucking supercar accident in Southern California. So the question is, if she keeps gambling with this dumb nigga, because they've been together now for what, like 3 or 4 years? Is this gamble going to pay off, or is it going to bring more grief and strife to her life, and maybe even put her and her children in danger? Because let me tell you something. I don't care how famous this celebrity couple is, okay? A lowlife is going to be a lowlife at heart, regardless of how much money that they have, okay? These Pookie savages, just because, the paparazzi are following them around and they can afford, $100,000 Gucci, Prada, and gold teeth, that don't mean that they're any less of street niggas than they were when they were running around, ripping off scams and robbing people and stealing cars and selling drugs and whatever other dysfunctional stupid shit they were doing before they were a quote unquote somebody. Okay? They say that people are creatures of habit. Now, ASAP Rocky has gotten into multiple confrontations like most of these rappers. And the way it usually ends, including with we remember the Nipsey Hussle case, is the beef either winds up ending with the rapper in jail or prison for something that he did and with a felony on his record, or the rapper ending up hurt, seriously hurt or dead, okay? Or winding up with somebody else seriously hurt or dead, okay? Even Suge Knight got his dumb ass locked up again. So what's going to happen the next time he gets into it with some nigger? Somebody that's flirting with Rihanna's old ass, or, you know, having some pointless drama or some stupid ass argument over this and that. Can he denigrify is the question. Because if he can't denigrify, she could find herself right back in the same fucking predicament, showing up in court for this dude. But this time, especially if it happens in a more conservative area, the gamble may not pay off. And I guarantee you that jury was carefully selected. Okay? It was carefully selected. And not just by the prosecution, which is usually how it goes. Because if that had been a all-white jury out on the West Coast or in Arizona or Nevada somewhere, his ass would be headed to prison. But we shall see. Can ASAP Rocky shed his niggerdom, stand up and be a fucking man, raise his children and not act like a fucking idiot, waving guns around like he's still a street nigger? They say the older you get, the more set in your own ways you get. This is what got Tupac and other famous niggas killed. Will ASAP Rocky be able to act like a normal, sane individual? And here is the more interesting question. If he does, will Rihanna still be attracted enough to him to keep courting him, to keep having babies with him, to be his de facto wife? Or will she move on to the next fucking degenerate because he's no longer thrilling enough? She no longer gets that thrill. This is your black bitch in the year 2025, black man. This is who you're dealing with. And I know a lot of you niggas are still dating and screwing these chicks. This is what you're dealing with. And if you're not a pookie, all you're doing is throwing good money and good time after bad. It's just a waste. It's just a recycle of the same useless effort dealing with these whores. No matter what status or no matter what level they have, because they all have the same fucking mentality. This very same female and females like her that are far less wealthy, far less fortunate, far less famous, like that bitch out on the East Coast, I think North Carolina, that gave away nearly half her lottery winnings to bail her stupid ass thug boyfriend out of prison 3 times, paid his entire bail. And what did he do to thank her? Got put right back in jail on another fucking warrant. Well, I think he had outstanding warrants in other states. But she nearly spent herself broke trying to bail this dude out. This very same retarded female that will go through all these fucking hoops for these little square ass white boys and white dudes, non-black dudes, you know, Dirty Jose, Bimpy Brad, and Hood Pookie, won't give you the time of day unless you make 6 figures. And you spend half of that 6 figures on the first date for her stinking ass without even getting so much as a kiss on the cheek at the end of the night. If you're a regular black dude that's not in the streets on bullshit or you don't have white skin. Hashtag Marlboro for life. That's all I gotta fucking say.